I like this city because this is a big sports city. By round of applause for all my sports fans out, huh? I've realized recently that you can tell a lot about somebody based on the type of sports they like to watch on television. It's true. Think about this. For example, baseball. If somebody says their favorite sport to watch is baseball, that means they're patriotic, because baseball is a very patriotic sport. You know, it is America's pastime. They sing the national anthem before every game. I mean, heck, half the guys who play that sport professionally love America so much they swam here from Cuba. Now, similarly, you know that somebody isn't from the U.S. if their favorite sport to watch is soccer. Because we Americans don't like watching a sport if we know the American team isn't going to win. A lot of sports are like that. If somebody says their favorite sport to watch is cricket, you know they're probably from England. If their favorite sport is ping pong or badminton, they're probably from Asia. If their favorite sport is hockey, then they're white. If someone says their favorite sport to watch is football, that means they have a beer belly. And it's not their fault. It's just that there are a lot of beer commercials in football games, and you can't watch that many commercials without it having some kind of impact on you. It's the same way how if somebody says their favorite sport to watch is basketball, that means they own a pair of overpriced sneakers. Or if somebody says their favorite sport is rodeo, then they have a big belt buckle. Or if somebody says their favorite sport is NASCAR, that means they should be wearing a helmet. If someone says their favorite sport to watch is skateboarding or snowboarding, that means they're under the age of 25. If their favorite sport is golf, then they're older than 65. If their favorite sport is women's golf, then they're a lesbian. It's just how it works. It's the same way how if a man says his favorite sport to watch is figure skating, he's probably gay. Or if a man says his favorite sport to watch is gymnastics, he's probably a pedophile. If someone says their favorite sport to watch is horse racing, that means they have a gambling problem. If their favorite sport is poker, then they don't know that they have a gambling problem. If someone tells me their favorite sport to watch is either bowling, billiards, or curling, then that tells me that person doesn't really understand what a sport is. And if I see somebody watching tennis on TV, then I know that the batteries in their remote control have died, and they're too lazy to get up and change the channel. I can make fun of tennis because I'm related to the guy who invented it. You can go home and Google this. My great something grand uncle Walter Wingfield invented and wrote the first rule book on tennis, which would be really cool if it wasn't for the fact that tennis has some of the most screwed up rules in all of sports. That's right, tennis, where 0 is called love. 1 point counts for 15, 2 counts for 30, and 3 somehow counts for 40, and a tie is called a deuce. Which to me sounds like something you do when you're going to the bathroom. I'm taking the paper with me, gotta drop a deuce. See you later. But if you want to talk about screwed up sports origins, you can't get more messed up than hockey. One of the most violent team sports that has ever existed. And somehow it was invented in Canada. It's kind of like finding out that smooth jazz music comes from Germany. Really, how drunk were the Canadians when they came up with hockey? What was that day like? All right, guys, how about this, eh? We're going to take a boxer, dress him up like an American football player, give him a big golf club with a hook on the end of it, and strap a couple of knives to his feet like in a cockfight. And we're going to have it so that if a guy punches another guy in the face or hits him over the head with a stick, instead of throwing him out of the game, we're just going to make him sit on a bench for like 2 minutes. You know, that'll stop the problem, right? A good old-fashioned timeout. You sit there and think about what you did. You guys ever done this? Have you ever been in your car when you get into a new city and you're flipping around on the radio trying to find a song you like, and you come across a rock song that you've never heard before, but it's really good? I mean, it's so good, in fact, you start rocking out in your car, do it a little bit, and then about halfway through the song, you realize that it's not a rock song, but a Christian rock song. I've That's kind of an awkward moment right there. It's like, man, this is an awesome song. I wonder why I've never heard this before. Did he just say something about Jesus? Click. I don't want you guys to think, though, that I'm not religious. I am religious. I was raised Catholic, went to a Catholic church when I was growing up. Our minister was an Irish priest. His name was Father Pat O'File. We had a deacon. His name was Luke de Udaway. Going to hell for that joke, by the way. The thing about churches, though, is churches are so old-fashioned. I think a lot of churches really need to modernize for the 21st century. My idea to modernize a church: drive-through confessional. Drive-through confessional. How great would that be? You could pull up to the outside of a church. They'd have a sign with the 10 Commandments on it and a speaker inside of a burning bush. Voice comes out, thank you for coming to church. How can I save your soul today?
Yeah, hi. I did a number 1. Number 4. Number 5, supersized. 9 and a 3 at the same time. And 10 number 10s. You know what, actually put me down for 11 number 10s. I'm going to do that again on the way home. Thanks.
We could use that, I think. Because let's face it, people, we are a country that loves to sin. Can I get an amen? That's right. If you think about it, we will even use holidays as excuses to sin. Yes, celebrate that, I guess. I don't know. No, we will. There are 7 deadly sins. We have a holiday to celebrate each and every one of them. Like, what's the first holiday we celebrate of the year? Valentine's Day. A day to celebrate love. But it's not. It's a day where we try and get laid. They don't make rum-filled chocolate for no reason. Let's say what it is. That is a day to celebrate lust. Right? What did we just have? St. Patrick's Day. A day where we get drunk and pick fights with total strangers. That is a day to celebrate wrath. Even little kids know that, because if you're not wearing green on that day, they'll come up and they'll pinch you and they'll laugh. Cinco de Mayo, not our holiday, but we celebrate it anyways. Why? Because of envy. Let's keep going. 4th of July, obviously celebrating pride. Nothing wrong with being proud of your country, but we have to have a big, elaborate fireworks display that they can see from England, so they know we're saying, fuck you! Labor Day, a day where no one goes to work for no particular reason. Let's stay home, celebrate a little sloth. Yeah. Thanksgiving, a day where we eat until our pants don't fit. Celebrate some gluttony. Or Christmas, a season where we're so possessed by greed, we will trample innocent civilians on the way to a sale. And we don't even end there, though. No, we always end the year with New Year's Eve. A day where we combine all 7 deadly sins into one 24-hour period of blasphemy. No one goes to work on New Year's Eve. You use your last sick day. You stay at home eating leftovers, playing with whatever it is you got from Christmas. You watch every other country in the world celebrate New Year's before you, and you get so envious of them that you have to throw the biggest, most elaborate, most pride-filled celebration in the world, where you get drunk out of your minds, pick a fight with some random guy and try and have sex with his girlfriend. And you gotta do it all before midnight, too, because that's where you make your New Year's resolutions to give up